Our next three farmers are basically going to talk about the fact that unfair, inconsistent, scale inappropriate regulation and planning has created real problems for people here in Australia, as Tammi mentioned. It's real. It's real and it's going on. So much so, but the point is, people in towns and people in the city had a big impact on our next speakers. Because when Elgaar Farm was suddenly shut down, it was the collaborative work of people from Hobart City Farm and other friends that got together and crowd-funded. And as a result, it gave each and every one of us an opportunity to buy in. Now, most of you wouldn't realise I am a primary producer living in North Bondi. I have cow. A cow. 1 unit. And that 1 unit is a cow from Elgaar Farm. And I contributed at that time on a deal that was really madness. Pay $1,200 or $1,500 if the crowdfunding doesn't get off, you get your money back. If it does get off, you get your money back in 3 years. What sort of interest do you value? I couldn't think of a better interest than to know that my money has helped a productive farm survive and flourish once again. So I'd like to introduce you to the wonderful Joe and Antonia from Elgaar Farm to tell you all their story. Oh, Joe. Is Antonia here? Yeah. Oh, there she is, yeah.
Actually, her name is Lani. Your cow's name is Lani?
Oh, Lani.
Yeah. Just remember that.
Thank you.
And actually, you're scheduled for milking next week. Did you say no? No.
Yes, I'm in.
Oh, good, very good, very good. Anyway, hello, it's very, very nice to be here. It's a great pleasure to see such a lot of people here. I'm sometimes a bit controversial, so I'm just coming up now with a few things I have to get off my chest first. But the first thing is, look, we always wanted to change the law. We didn't want to break the law, and I can tell you we haven't broken the law. While we were alleged to do so, I can guarantee you we didn't. But we came to Australia, we were small cheesemakers and farmers in Bavaria and Germany, and we came to Australia, and Australia still had a law where you can sell raw milk and raw milk cheese and those things. Unfortunately, 5 or 4 years after we arrived here, this changed, and in Australia, or the food safety people got into that madness that everything which is connected with raw milk is dangerous for you and your kids, and you endanger them to terrible diseases. We made it quite clear to them we want to change it, but we don't want to break it. And we're definitely not a conspiracy theorist family or so, but I have to, and we don't even have to change the system. We just have to participate in that system. And it's a bit hard to explain it here and move aside. I like to talk to with my hands, but obviously today it doesn't work. But just see that when we just heard that at one of Tammi's speech down there, that the head of the National Farmers Federation, the head of whatever farming corporation or so, is too closely to the big corporations, the food producers and the food supermarkets. Yes, she's certainly right there. We tried it. We tried to be part of this and change it. You have to be in it when you want to change it, but unfortunately this doesn't work. What we need is you people here. And I really want to congratulate you to be here. I think it's marvelous that you have taken those things into your own hands. And I'll just explain a little bit about the system before I go back to the Elgaar story, because it has something to do with it. It doesn't matter what it is, a food producer or a primary producer or a food manufacturer. Of course we have a government, of course the government makes laws, and quite a lot of them make sense, some definitely don't. But how are the laws made? The laws are made by politicians, or let's say the agricultural minister in Tasmania isn't a farmer, has no idea. So they get advised by it. They get lobbied. And who pays the lobbyists? Do you know that in Canberra we have more than 6,000 paid lobbyists? Or who's got the money to pay them to lobby the politicians to change or make a law. So it's only those people who will make a profit with it, because otherwise they couldn't pay it. So it's only those people who sell something to the food manufacturing industry, who sell something to the primary industry, that means the farmers also. If for me as an organic zero input farmer, and I'd like to put this zero input, in speech marks here, because yes, we buy some fuel, and yes, we have some thought input into the farm and some system inputs, but we don't buy anything in, so no one will make some money with us. So that simply means we have no lobbyists to change the law. We have no power there, because that's how the system works. And that's why it is so important that we have 400 people here today. We need thousands, we need 10,000s, we need 1 million of people to go, stand up and say, I know what I want, and I want it now. I want to have the law changed. So if there's people there, there's more organizations coming up now, but I can encourage everyone to go out there and tell your friends, stand up for your free choice, as we've heard it today. And I really congratulate you, every single person here who came here, who paid the money for the fundraising for those things. And no one as yet has applause to you, so you have to do it yourself. You with me? You with me? And this is just a warm-up action now, because then later on I want you to applaud someone else as well here. But right now, it feels good. It feels good if you applaud to yourself, because you're here and no one else has done it. I started, and I want you whistling and howling and clapping as much as you can. And that's for you, all right? Yeah? Okay, my congratulations to you. Because you are the people who will change this mad system. And I call it mad because when you look at Antonio and myself, and we have 6 children, and we have grandchildren, we all have raw milk products, we all have consumed raw milk, we should be dead. We should be dead, really. We should be not here, or at least we should be terribly sick. But then, I tell you, how crazy it is. You think maybe science is corrupt, but I don't think it's science who actually is corrupt. Most scientists try to be as accurate. Maybe they're sometimes on the wrong path, but they try to be as accurate as possible. But if you just look at a law from Australia, a law from France, and a general law from Europe, and that is, for example, E. coli, and that's, please take this into account, it's not pathogenic E. coli, it's E. coli, they're all over here, we have them in our intestines, we need them, yeah? E. coli in cheese. Science says different things than the law says. Australia has 10 CFU per gram of cheese. The EU has 1,000 CFU per gram of cheese. France or Switzerland have 10,000. So, if it's so dangerous that in Australia we can't allow more than 1 or 10 per gram, or in raw milk, whatever, then the Australian government should really give a travel warning to all people who go to France, to Europe, not to eat, definitely not to eat any dairy product there, because you come back sick. So how corrupt, and that brings me back to this lobbying, this lobbying of industrial food production, which makes the money to lobby the politicians to go there. We don't need to change the system, we don't need a revolution, we just need you people to participate in that system. So again, you clapped for yourself, you congratulate yourself, that's good. Right now the next thing comes. We need to have those things organized. And as you've seen it today out here, it's very well organized by Stuart and Tammi. And I can't say enough thank you for them, that I'm here, Stuart and Tammi, and their crew, of course. And I can't say more thank you or congratulations, or it's just absolutely awesome what they are putting up with your support here. And I would really like just for them to have an absolutely bigger applause than we have given ourselves now. Ready? Can we do that? Yay! I really mean it so, because when this thing happened to us, that we were accused of selling raw milk products, and I guarantee you, we haven't. Even we would have really loved it. And every week we get inquiries to do so, and every week we have people out there to do it. But Tasmania is a different place at the moment. Tasmania is just absolutely terrible. In this case, if we sell 1 litre of raw milk anywhere, we're gone. We're in jail. This is it. So we just don't do it. But we tell them we would like to change it, you know. But anyway, this is the story as a general thing. Now I'll tell you about Elgaar a little bit. As I just mentioned, we are coming from Europe. That was 1986. We had 4 kids. Now we have 6. They're all between 22 and 35. They were very nice and small. Now they look like this, a bit downward to me. Anyway, they were all participating in our farm. They were all working in administration, cheese making, distribution, whatsoever. And we had another 12 people involved there. We're fully certified organic, and we had an operation. And suddenly this thing about bobby calves, you may have heard of them, how they've been treated. That is 2-day-old calves thrown onto a truck, brought to the abattoir, taken from their mothers, of course, brought to the abattoir, and just slaughtered there under terrible circumstances. This is industrial production. We got so many inquiries from our customers, how we do it, as well as from just other people who wanted to know how those calves are treated. Simply, we said, we can't tell you how our neighbors or anyone else is treating their farms, their calves. Go to the dairy corporation or go somewhere else, ask them how it's done. You know, they must have a code of practice or whatever. And they got inundated with thousands of inquiries a day from Australians who wanted to know how ethical are the cows treated, how ethical are the calves treated. And that set up a real reaction with the dairy corporation to think of, and I refused for more than a year to believe this, to shut us down. Just simple as that, because we farm ethically, we leave the calves on the cows, we treat the cows with respect. If they get a certain age, as you may know or not know, they stay on the farm, and they're not getting sent away somewhere because they've done their job. And I really say we've developed a relationship with them, and they stay here. And they're real calf, and they're usually 10, 15, 20 years old. They've shown that they're good cows, and so we have our breeding stock from them. So it does work, Anyway, we've been on the radar there already that something has going to happen. They've got to nip that, budding business we have. They've got to put it down because it's too embarrassing. For after 30 years or so, Antonia, my wife, and we went to Europe after 30 years just to see family, friends, and see about cheese making and various things. And for 5 weeks, a week before we came back, one of our sons sent us a text message: factory shut down, accusation, sale of raw milk. For 20 years of our operation, we never had one single sample which was out of specs. And here we had a sample which was out of specs, but that's just a sample of, it's getting technical here a little bit, but it's an enzyme which gets killed in the, or destroyed in the milk when you pasteurize it, which is called phosphatase, and it can rebuild in the milk again. In fatty products like double cream and those things, we tested the fatty product. It was, instead of 10, it had 11 units in there. The inspection came, they shut us down, they said, you've sold raw milk products. We went through our email stream with the TDA because we thought, about 1.5 years ago, there was an incident, we had an elevated phosphatase test. We wrote to them, we said to them, what should we do? And we got advice from the TDA, that's the Tasmanian Dairy Industry Authority. We got advice that we shouldn't bother about this because it rebuilds in fatty dairy products again. We took this email out and said, look, here's your own advice you gave us in terms of phosphatase, and that contradicts your shutdown of the factory. And they said, no, the TDA can't give advice. We are a inspecting authority, we can't give advice, and if you did give advice, that advice wasn't justified to be given to you. It still stands, that advice, but we were shut down for, we were thinking, a week or 2 weeks or anything like this. You know, we had meetings with them, we did everything. They had 24 points. They said, we fixed those 24 points and you can have your license. We fixed those 24 points and another 16 turned up. We had another 16 points to fix and another 12 or 14 point up. We said, we're sick of this. You know, it's going from 2 weeks, it's going to 3 months now. We had to put down milk the drain and our cash reserves, and we still kept every employee. We had, including our own family, we had 12 employees, so to speak. We kept them on for more than half a year, and we were running out of cash slowly. Because every week we thought, we will get that license back again. Our customer called, our shops called, you know, where's the produce? And we just said, we don't know. Next week we'll be running again. We just had a few compliance issues. And so it went on and on. Most our employees after 6 months had to go. As I said, cash reserves were running really low. Our sons had to go somewhere else, our daughter had to go somewhere else, getting a job. One opened a restaurant, another one worked at a dairy farm 200 kilometers away, another one got to a business. So they all had to do their own jobs, and we were just slowly going down. And then we noticed that we don't get anywhere. We tried to negotiate. We said, this is the regulations. We've done everything you needed. And then they said, all right, but the regulations have recently changed. I said, oh, what did change? We need a pasteurizer, a new pasteurizer, because the pasteurizer we had prior to that, which was working for 20 years perfectly and never supplied a different sample, has to be Australian standard 3993, which is a terrible standard. I tell you, it's a standard for factories which running 1 million litres through, not 1,500 litres a day. And so we had no cash reserves left anymore. We thought, oh, what are we going to do? Oh, well, it's not a problem. We go to the bank. We have some assets. We go to the bank. I'll ask a few banks, and I said, so what's your income stream? Where do you get income? Sorry, we haven't got one right now, but as soon as you have this thing, you know, we have the license back again. I said, nah, really, you know. It was the dairy downturn. It was still the aftermath of the financial crisis, all those things. We just didn't get anything, nothing, because we didn't have an income stream. So one day we thought, well, the bank account is on zero. We still have to pay things, you know, like taxes and power and all those things. And I said, well, that's it. Sell the farm, you know. You can't do anything. You have no hope. You have no hope here anymore. And our daughter and son-in-law and Antonio and a few others said, oh, well, no, look, we have so many customers out there who want the product. Why not do a crowdfunding thing? Now what? And I was very skeptical. I said, yeah. You know, people come, people buy the product, but really get there and they say, you know, we need, for the pasteurizer, $120,000. We need other things to restart the production. We need $250,000. We need $250,000. And the decision was made in the family, luckily not the decision I thought is the right one. The decision was made in the family to go for crowdfunding. The family, within 5 days, set it up, and within the point of launching and Costa is part of it, to the point of launching, 2 days later, we had $125,000 already on the account. It was just unbelievable. And it was all from customers and from people who just interested in the issue. We had contributions from Europe, from the States, from Asia. It's just unbelievably thing, you know, people who are really caring for their environment, for their primary production, where the food is coming from and how it's done, how are people treated in this system. And then we thought, oh well, why not let's have people a bit of a participation in our cow herd. So we do this cow buddy thing, you know, where people put $1,400 for a cow in, and they're not buying the cow, but the cow is like a security for it, you know, and they are budding up with this cow, and as all our cows had already names, our daughter just made photos of it, and we put it up there, and there was another 100,000 there. So within 10 days, we almost reached our goal. And then there were people there and said, whatever you can't make, if it's 220,000 and you need 250,000, we'll make up the rest. And I thought, this is just unbelievable. It still gives me this interesting feeling, skin feeling, of humbleness and being proud of it. Being proud of the community who supports and stands up to what they really want. However, unfortunately, it hasn't changed much of the law yet. And the whole thing in its progress left us with a lot more debt on our shoulders. Yes, we will recover, but what we really want is we want to change this law. Yes. And that's what we really need to have these people. When I said in that law system and how the laws is made, the lawmakers have really forgotten the consumers. And the Farmers Federation and all of them have forgotten the consumers too. As soon as consumers come up and say, we want to have a better treatment of the animals or of the cows or the pigs or whatever, they say, oh, those stupid consumers out there, they don't know, they need to be told how they have to be served with the food. And it's not so. It's got to be the consumers, and that's all of you and the small producers who really got to stand up. And I think this venue here is just the start of it, and I hope it will grow much, much bigger and will help people who are coming after us into such an unbelievable, terrible, I can say sometimes, situation to be told by authorities to throw away more than 6.5 tons of cheese because we didn't, so to speak, had the papers in that order they wanted to. So people, please stand up. Stop this madness, and I congratulate you to be here for that. Thank you.
It was an amazing few words. I mean, think about today, if you look at 350 or 400 people, if each of us put in $100, there's $400,000. That can help a lot to go a long way. In this case, 250,000 for Elgaar, and that it was real and it worked. And I'm a farmer with one cow in Bondi. Well, it is sort of it's distant farming, let's say. The cow's not in Bondi, but it's my cow. Thank you for sharing that story, and I think it's something that brings it right back to each and every one of us, and how even if we can't do anything directly, the most direct thing we can do is direct our money, because every decision we make with every dollar directs the future of our food.